is Halie Soifer. She's the Chief Executive Officer of the Jewish Democratic Council of America. She also served as a senior policy advisor for the Obama administration and was a foreign policy and defense advisor to now retired U.S. Democratic Senator Ted Kaufman. Halie, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us. So we saw a real fired up Josh Shapiro last night. Obviously, you get a sense of his talent and his charisma and his appeal. And it was worth noting that that was a really special moment, that he took the time to talk about his faith and the fact that he doesn't shy away from it. I'd like to read for you, though, what a reporter for the Jewish Insider said in response to that statement from Josh Shapiro. He said, "Indeed, the fact that Shapiro felt obligated to declare that he was proud of my faith at Tuesday's Harris-Walz rally in Philadelphia is a sign of the increasingly inhospitable environment for proud Jewish politicians. This isn't Joe Lieberman's Democratic Party anymore." What do you make of that statement? Is it a fair assessment?
Absolutely not. It was meaningful for Governor Shapiro to mention the pride that he feels in his Jewish faith, just as it's meaningful for second gentleman Doug Emhoff to do that as well. And he has said repeatedly that he lives openly and proudly as an American Jew and has encouraged others to do so as well. This means a lot, as does the fact that the vice president and second gentleman have hung a mezuzah on their residence, and the second gentleman has said that they intend to do so on the White House after they win in November. The vice president, through marriage, is really a part of our community and has fully embraced and defended our community as we've faced rising anti-Semitism. So not only is the Democratic Party the political home for the vast majority of American Jews, but the Republican Party, led by Donald Trump, the most anti-Semitic presidential candidate of our lifetime, is absolutely the antithesis of that.
I'd like to play more sound from the former president, specifically seizing on what he's characterizing. And by the way, it's not just Republicans. There's concern within the Democratic Party, too, of a growing wing of anti-Semitism, specifically following the October 7th attacks and the war then that followed in Gaza. Here's what Donald Trump said on Fox News.
They tell me that this Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, Mr. President, is Jewish. He's Jewish like Bernie Sanders is Jewish. Are you kidding me? He's a crappy Jew. Yeah. He's a horrible Jew.
Sorry, that was at WABC, not on Fox News. But how do you defend that? And also, it's one thing to say, well, listen, there are right-wing anti-Semites in the Republican Party. How does that address the concern, though, within the Democratic Party itself?
Well, Donald Trump's accusation that the second gentleman is a so-called crappy Jew is just one of many disparaging things that he has said against the vast majority of American Jewish voters for the past 5 years. He continues to say, we hate our religion, we're disloyal, we're uninformed. He continues to send vitriol and hate toward the majority of American Jews. This is consistent with who he is. In 2017, he called neo-Nazis marching in Charlottesville very fine people. In 2020, he refused to condemn white supremacy from the presidential debate stage. Instead, he incited right-wing extremists. He continues to traffic in vitriol, targeting our community, instead of speaking about the issues. And you're right, there has been anti-Semitism that's emerged from the far left as well. We condemn that. And there was anti-Semitism that originally fueled some of what we saw as this smear campaign against Governor Shapiro. It appears that it was later fueled by Republicans, however, including Trump, who has commented on it. And that absolutely was not a reason that Vice President Harris chose Governor Walz as her running mate. In fact, Governor Walz, Vice President Harris, and Governor Shapiro all share the same views with regard to Israel. Importantly, this is why the Democratic Party has become the home of the vast majority of American Jews, because the Republican Party under Donald Trump has become the home for right-wing extremists and anti-Semites.
So as you noted, the Governor Walz and his views and policies towards Israel are pretty much in line with where Josh Shapiro's are and where the Vice President and candidate Harris's is as well. So in terms of trying to appeal now to some of the undecided voters, particularly in swing states like Michigan and many Arab and Muslim voters who perhaps haven't made up their mind now or are quite upset about what they've seen play out in the war in Gaza, how does that ticket and their policies help bring these voters back into the Democratic Party?
It's important to remember that American voters are making their decisions about which candidate to support based on a range of issues. For Jewish voters, for example, the number one issue is the defense of our democracy. The number two issue are reproductive rights. Number three is the economy. After that includes Israel. But it's important to note that our community, just as others, are not one issue voters. And on all those issues and more, it's the vice president who aligns with our views and our values. So my point is that no one community is voting solely on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But even if they were, it's quite clear that the vice president's views, where she has repeatedly talked about not only her condemnation of the horrific terror that we saw on October 7th, but the fact that there must be a ceasefire that allows the hostages to get out and aid to continue to get in. This is critically important. And I would think that that message, where she's demonstrated not just alignment and support of Israel, but also empathy and calling for an end of the suffering of innocent Palestinians, is critically important. This issue does not have to be binary.
And you think we'll see more of that with the Harris-Walz campaign ticket?
I think they're going to continue to talk about the issues of importance to the American people, including defending our democracy, defending our reproductive rights, standing with our allies, including Israel, and yes, demonstrating empathy and wanting to end suffering for innocent people no matter where they are.
Halie Soifer, thank you so much for taking the time today. Appreciate it.